This incident happened a few years ago. It was a boring weekend for all of my friends. We just gathered at Sam's house and planned to hang out for some time. A few hours into the night, John had the bright idea of all of us going to the abandoned hospital at the very edge of our town. I was completely against it, but for some reason, all of my other friends were excited to go there. As you could imagine, I had to go with them. It was an abandoned 19th century old building. For some reason, someone decided to build a hospital so far away from the town. It was the exact reason why it was abandoned in the first place, after a new hospital was built right at the center of our town. The hospital was right in the middle of woods at the outskirts of our town. As we were in our car making our way towards the abandoned structure, I was able to spot it from a distance. It was completely surrounded by forest and darkness. The moment we got down, we noticed that there was an eerie silence to the surroundings. Mike had brought a flashlight with us just in case we needed it. We went in the hospital through its main entrance. We knew the hospital was so big that we could not explore it in one visit. So we decided to split and look for anything interesting and call others if we find anything. We figured out that way we might be able to explore as much as we can. Looking back, I now think that was a stupid decision. I went to the first floor and went from room to room. Most of the structure was surprisingly intact. I went through labs, patient rooms, and even I came across an operation theater. Going across the rooms, I met Mike at the entrance of a narrow hallway. We could see that at the end of the hallway there were a few more rooms we had not checked out. We went in there together. One of them was a huge room which could have easily accommodated at least 15 beds. I went to one of the windows and noticed there was a second structure standing right in front of us. It was a little far away, so my torchlight could not reach there. Mike came in with his flashlight and turned it on. It revealed another two-storied building which was kind of an extension to the main building. Before we could say anything, we saw a man running inside the building. Mike switched off the light and we came out of the room looking for our other friends. We knew something was not right. For the split second we saw the man, we knew he was not some homeless person who had taken refuge in the abandoned building. He also did not appear to be any one of our friends or even someone else who was there to explore the hospital just like us. We met Sam and John on the ground floor and explained what we had just seen. They knew we were not joking around. Sam even said he could hear someone whispering somewhere in the distance when he saw us looking for them. We mutually agreed that something was off about this place and decided it was time to leave. We made our way out to Sam's car and moved our way away from the hospital as fast as we could. John was the only one who turned back to look at the hospital one last time. He said he could see figures of at least 3 or 4 men right at the entrance of the hospital who came in running just when we were taking the turn to exit the driveway. We were spooked by the experience and quickly figured it out that those men were probably gang members and were involved in some illegal activity and had made the hospital their meeting place. We did not tell anybody about our experience, not only for the fear of getting laughed at, but also because we did not want anybody else trying to explore the abandoned hospital on their own, out of curiosity of knowing more about those gang members in there. Not to mention it, it was the first and last time we went to any of the abandoned places. This happened a while ago. Me and my friend were into urban exploration at the time. We liked to explore abandoned places wherever and whenever we could find one. We were once visiting one of our friends who happened to live in a nearby town. He knew about our so-called hobby and suggested we check out an abandoned farmhouse which was just off the highway, little away from the town. He told us that the farmhouse was supposedly haunted and the family living there had left the place overnight. We knew we had to check out the place. When we reached the farmhouse, we could make out that it was a fairly nice and well built house. Something terrible must have happened for someone to abandon such a nice house, I thought. We went in through the front door, which was surprisingly open. We explored the ground floor first. It was like a time capsule. Everything was in the exact spot and position where the original family had left it in. We climbed the staircase and reached a hallway which had rooms to its left and right. My friend said that he would go to the right and see if he finds something interesting. I went to the left. There were three rooms on the left side. One was the master bedroom. Second was a store room of some kind, I guess. The third one was the kids' bedroom. I went in there, and as soon as I entered the room, I was overcome by a terrible feeling. It was like someone was in there with me, watching me all the time. I felt as though whoever was in there wanted me out of the room. I went to the bedroom window to see what it overlooked. I was surprised to see a garage right below the bedroom window. The garage was not visible from the front because of the thick and overgrown bushes that covered it. I excitedly made my way down to the garage. I was shocked to see that the garage still had a car in there. It was badly rusted, so badly that I could not even make out which model it was. I could only manage to figure out that it was some old vintage car, probably from the 70s or even earlier. I was so excited at this find that I even forgot to tell my friend about it. Just when I thought of going to look for him, I heard footsteps from the room just above my head. I remembered my friend was still up there and called him to tell about my new discovery. He replied, but not from where I thought he would. His voice came from a completely opposite direction, from behind. He was in a shed, which he saw from one of the other room windows. My body just entered in flight mode at the time. That same terrible feeling I had earlier in the upstairs bedroom again overtook me, coupled with those unknown footsteps. I ran out of the property shouting at my friend to leave immediately. He knew I was serious and just followed me. We kept running till we reached our car. He finally asked me what happened, and I told him everything. He said that he also had the same feeling from one of the other rooms but shrugged it off. Although we could not complete tour of the house, we still had an experience to remember. We still go on exploring abandoned places, but we always make sure that we are always together and never go too far away from each other. This incident happened when I was in high school. We were a group of troublesome guys at the time. We used to get into trouble every now and then for the stupidest of things you could ever imagine. This is one of those incidents. We were driving home from the stadium after watching a football match between two local groups that night. Our way back took us from the highway which passed through a small forest. Me, my friends Tim and Anthony were discussing about usual teenage stuff when Tim saw a house-like structure just off the road a little in the forest. He stopped the car and said that it would be fun to go and explore that house. He had overheard a few of our classmates talking about some creepy stuff happening at the house the other day. As troublesome as we were, we got down from the car and made our way into the house. We intentionally left the car a little far away from the house just so that, in case anyone passed through the house, they would not have any suspicion of anyone entering the house. We first circled the house once to find any open doors or windows. We found one of the windows open and made our way in there. It was a bedroom. The wooden bed had decayed beyond anyone could describe. That showed us how long the house had been abandoned by the person living in there. The situation in other adjoining rooms was also not great either. It was quite obvious that someone had tried to turn the place upside down, maybe to look for any valuables to take away from. We made our way to the first floor and found two more bedrooms and a storage closet completely ransacked, just like the other rooms down there. We were not able to find anything interesting and were just about to leave the house when Anthony noticed a small hatch above. He got on a chair and pulled down the hatch. All the dust that had gathered on the hatch all these years fell on us. We were looking as if we had been through a shower which had dust coming through instead of water. Nonetheless, we made our way up there. It was the attic of the house. It was fairly big for the size of the house. When we got up there, we saw that it had nothing more than a few boxes scattered around. We opened the boxes one by one. One of those boxes had toys, while the other one had clothes in it. There remained only one other box. We went to the box and lifted the lid. As soon as Tim shined the torchlight to see what was in the box, we all screamed like a group of small children. The torchlight revealed a sickly, pale, homeless man crouched in the box, almost in an inhumane manner. The reaction was mainly because we did not expect to find a real human inside a box in the attic of an abandoned house. We jumped through the hatch and made our way through the window we came in. Anthony claimed he saw the man was holding some sharp metal tool in his hand. We ran till we reached our car. We got in and quickly made our way out of there. We did not wait to see if the man followed us when we came out of the attic. We were horrified beyond comprehension by the experience we had. Maybe that homeless person was much more scared by us than we were scared of him. We don't know, but this incident made sure we never again thought of entering any abandoned house ever again.